It has been said of my work that I don't concentrate on people, but I think that's hugely inaccurate. I just don't focus the camera on people. I'm focusing the camera on what people do, what they make, what they create, the objects, the landscapes, the social practices. And therefore that says so much about us. I'm Amie Siegel, and I'm an artist, and I live in New York. An asterism is a loose grouping of stars. It's a kind of informal constellation. These elements are all brought together. There's a layering in the sculpture with the images, and that layering also reflects certain layers of class, layers of geological stratification. So in a sense, it's looking at a kind of social and environmental layering. One of the things that I do as an artist is to reveal things that tend to be somewhat hidden, or processes that are not readily visible to us, but in fact affect every part of the economy and kind of social interaction and the construction of social hierarchies that we experience. So Asterisms explores the way in which value is created in the Emirates in specific through these kinds of architectural follies like the artificial islands, also through the production of gold. You see also, these things represent quite somewhat beautifully or as acts of beauty. These long drone shots of the artificial islands or even the horses in slow motion. But in fact, Asterisms, importantly, at the same time, shows us the production of these things, which is often drawn on the labor of migrant workers and situations where there's a deep, deep hierarchy of class and questions around personal rights and human rights. Science fiction is not, I would say, a main element of the work, but there are hints of aspects of science fiction within it. One of those aspects has to do with the way that certain countries in the Middle East have invested in sort of visions of 2075 and so forth, and they use these kinds of long-term projects, usually architectural projects, to attract investment. But in fact, 95% of these things never come to pass, or if they come to pass, they're sort of partially built and then they hang out there like ruins of the future in the desert, in this kind of interesting synecdochic way. But another element is, of course, just simply dystopia, right? That there's so many portrayals of science fiction that include the dystopic, often, with vast numbers of laborers who, are portrayed as a kind of a core, a body of labor that produces for the state and for the autocratic state in many dystopic, fictions or portrayals.